Creating content isn't just about being active online. It's about having your presence continue to grow even when you're not working. So in today's video, we're talking about the long-term value of your content so that you can continue to see a return on your investment long after you press publish. Let's get right into it. If you're new here, my name is Liz and I help coaches and consultants add video to their business. Be sure to subscribe so that you never miss any of my future content. Now, I've talked a lot in the past about long form content, but I haven't talked that much about the value of your content in the long term. And that's because I really want each of you to be thinking long term about how your content is going to continue to live on. None of us really wants to create content that's just going to get buried and disappear within minutes or hours of posting it. Your stuff is good and it's valuable and it deserves to be seen over and over long after you actually post it. So today we're talking about some strategies and tactics that you can use to make sure that the content that you're creating actually reaches people for years, even after you publish it, and so that it continues to have value for people when they find it years down the road. Let's jump right into it. Now, one really great thing to do is to focus on evergreen topics. Every single one of us once in a while makes videos that are not evergreen. They're more trending or something that might be a hot take right now or a new trend. But focusing on evergreen topics means that those topics are foundational in nature. They are talking about principles and concepts that are going to last the test of time. That means if somebody bumps into your video in 5 months or in a year or in 2 years, probably a lot of the things that you talked about in that video are still going to be relevant and applicable. This is a really great place to build your library of content because not only is your stuff not going to get outdated, but people will see your content years later and still feel like they can learn things from it. It will still be catching views and still be gaining the attention of people. Now, if you want to be even more strategic about this, you can use the data from your analytics or your audience insights to identify what are some reoccurring pain points that your audience has. If you notice that there's certain videos and certain topics that keep getting traction even months and years down the road, it means that your audience continues to have issues or problems with those topics. They're pain points for them. Those are evergreen topics. You can create more content around them. You can even update some of those videos by adding a pinned comment somewhere underneath, adding more insight into that topic. This really shows your audience that not only are you putting out content on topics that they care about, but you continue to try to update the information so that they get the latest understanding about how to face those pain points. Another way that you can maintain the long-term value of your content is to post consistently. If you start falling off the wagon and not posting for months at a time, then it sends a message to your audience that you just don't have enough to say on that topic and it's not a priority for you to show up for them. Not only that, but all of the social platforms where you're posting start to feel like you're not really in the game. You're not an active personality here on that platform, and then they start deprioritizing your content. So if you really want to have long-term value for your content, post at a regular schedule, something that is manageable for you. Every additional video that you post is just adding to your digital library. When people look a year and 2 years later, they see enough content there that makes them feel that you are an expert in that area. You're not just someone that shows up once every 7 months with one thought on your mind and then disappears again. So that digital library is going to continue to build. It'll continue to show up in different search engines here and there, and then people will see that you have a nice collection of thoughts that you've put on video for them. Another way to squeeze long-term value out of your content is to consider how you can repurpose this. I've talked a lot about repurposing on my channel, so be sure to go and check out some of my other videos on this topic. But I am a firm believer that once you post a single piece of content, you don't ever need to waste that content. Unless it's something that's kind of trendy at the moment, in which case it might be hard to repurpose for too much longer. But if you create evergreen content, you can slice that up into so many different ways, reshape it for different platforms, and keep posting it every once in a while. This is where a social media scheduler or some type of a planning tool becomes really handy. I love using Facebook Studio, in fact, even though it's kind of one of the older original tools. But it does allow you to take a piece of content and just schedule that out for a few months from now, even a year from now, onto a different platform like Instagram or Facebook or vice versa, and then just keep it moving. Don't ever let your content go to waste. You might be able to take an entire 10-minute video and find 4 or 5 really important points on there that you can turn into carousels or tweets, or you can extend and expand a little bit more into a blog post or some type of an article to post on LinkedIn. Not only that, but you can just take one good point from there and then just slice that up and put it on Facebook or as an Instagram reel, and it will continue to get views for you. People will realize that that small snippet that they're seeing is part of a bigger video, and then they will go looking for the original video if they're interested. When they go there, they're going to bump into all of your other evergreen videos, all of your other strong content. And this is how one piece of content can become multiple pieces of content, which are then going to lead your audience into even more content. Now, your content can really stretch out into the long term if you add your audience into the entire game and let them be a part of the community. Don't just create one-sided content that doesn't encourage any type of discussion. I love doing this type of thing on Instagram for sure, especially with Instagram stories. When you use some of the interactive tools there like polls and questions and all of that, then you are allowing your audience to engage in a discussion with you. This actually extends your content more than you might think. Even though Instagram stories disappear themselves after 24 hours, you can still use these type of tools on Reels as well. Not only that, but when somebody actually engages with some type of interactive content, they are now more invested and more interested in you as a person and in your content. They will continue to come back and look, and they will feel like it's a little bit fun to interact with your content and that you are having some type of an online discussion with them. This is always the benefit of that type of engaging, interactive content. It allows people to be a part of what you are building there. It makes them feel like a part of your community, and they're no longer just on the sidelines watching you create content, but they are helping you to actually build your entire platform and build your digital presence. And then that goes a long way itself. Another way to play the long-term game with your content is to really focus on SEO and keywords. Those words have become very blah in the last 1 year as we're focused on AI and tools like that. But my friends, keywords and SEO are still a thing. It still works. This means that you want to think about long tail style of keywords when you are creating thumbnails for your videos and the titles and in the descriptions of your videos. This stuff all gets picked up, and it gives you a really great chance to kind of not play the algorithm game. Too many people nowadays are focused on just feeding the algorithm monster instead of thinking about how they can use keywords to stand the test of time and have your content continue to show up for years to come. People will continue looking on the internet for solutions to their problems. They'll only be able to bump into you if you have some keywords there that connect with those solutions or those problems. So you can't really work with the algorithm like that. Instead, what you're trying to do is name and label and title everything and write up descriptions for your video in a way that people can actually find this stuff. This is one of the best ways that you can have longevity in the video game. You should be able to have YouTube videos that are titled and labeled and thumbnailed and described in a way that somebody goes to the search engine and will eventually bump into your video. Either it'll come up on the main page or somewhere on the suggested videos. Don't forget to use tags as well. They don't make such a big difference the way that keywords do, but they do still make a little bit of difference. So spend a little bit of time for every single video you create to focus on this type of thing. Don't just create your content and put it out into a black hole and hope that people find it accidentally. Because when people are intentionally searching for certain things, that is a warm audience. They are going to bump into you and really appreciate your content, and it is going to continue to get traction for years. Now, another thing you can do to lead viewers down a path when they are watching your videos is to consider using something like playlists or create a series for something. People actually get really hooked into watching all of the videos or most of the videos within a certain series, especially if they're relatively short and they're just watchable and very easily bingeable for people, 5 to 10 minutes max. When people understand that they are watching something that's in a series, their natural human inclination is to figure out what is happening in the next part of that same series, just to see if that's also as relevant to them as the previous one was. This is the same reason that we use playlists on YouTube, because we want to just organize and categorize our content so someone who comes across our channel knows that we are talking about topics A, B, C, D, and E on this channel, and they can pick and choose whatever they want. They might not realize that topic D is actually relevant to them unless they see the title of it in your playlist. That will pique their curiosity, and then they'll probably start browsing some videos from there as well. This helps your content to have long-term value because people can come back months and years later and find stuff easily. This is one of the big problems that we find with Instagram, where all of your content just gets buried very quickly. But on the other hand, if you create a series, you can even save that to your Instagram highlights, and then people can just go back there at any point and watch that stuff, similar to playlists on YouTube. And last but not least, another way that you can give long-term life to your content is to keep talking about some of the things that you offer. Every single video that you put out should mention some type of an offer or some type of a lead magnet or a resource or something that people can continue to look at. That way, not only are they watching that one video, but now they are being prompted to go check out the next thing. The next thing could even be another video. You'll notice how earlier in this YouTube video, I mentioned some other videos that I have. So that means people who are interested in that topic will go there. And then while they're watching that, they'll think about where's the next place they can go. This keeps all of your content moving. It keeps people looking at all of your stuff rather than just watching one video and then leaving and walking off into the sunset. They're going to watch one, they're going to connect to the next thing, they're going to see that you have a playlist, they're going to watch that, then they're going to see something in a series, then eventually they're going to end up on your lead magnet or your email list, and this is how you can continue the relationship. This means that your relationship with them is actually extending over a long period. It's not just for those 10 minutes that they're sitting and watching the one video. This is how you actually get long-term traction with them. Because have you considered what is your connection to this person who's watching your video if they just watch the one video and then disappear altogether? That's not what we want. We want them to go through all of those different series of steps, like subscribing to your channel or following your account, signing up for something that you have, joining a webinar maybe, or jumping on when you go live, or sending you an email about something, or filling out a contact form on your website. We want them to take the next step. That is how we are extending the lifetime of our relationship with them just by using our content. So be sure to use all of these suggestions so that you can actually have a real relationship with your client. The whole point of a business owner using video marketing is so that they can put out valuable information so that the right people can see it and then continue to learn and connect and extend the relationship. So this is what we want to keep in mind with every single piece of content that we put out. Now, if you liked today's video, I hope that you will give it a like, share it off with one of your friends. Don't forget to subscribe because every single week I bring you a new video teaching you how you can add video to your business. So until next time, take care.